Hello, Dawn here, and I want to show you how you can take one meal and actually transform it into 3 different meals over the course of the next few days. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start out with a piece of salmon. Now, a lot of people might say, this is a really big piece of salmon. I'm not going to be able to eat all that. I can't get to that. Well, if you're a family of 2 or 3 or even 4, you might be able to actually eat all of this in one night, depending how big eaters you are, or you can actually spread it out over the course of a few days. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, what I'm going to do first is I've got the salmon here. I've lined it on some parchment paper. Got the oven, it's going at 350, and we're just going to do a 1-pan meal. These are things that are really easy for you to get done. Now, if you've noticed here, I've got baggies, carrots, red onions already chopped, potatoes. This is a little squash that I, cut up, and some broccoli. Now, what I did yesterday when I got home, instead of just throwing everything into the refrigerator, into the abyss, okay, to become a science project over the next couple of weeks, I strategically washed things, cut them, chopped them, and prepped them, and thought about what I was going to do over the next couple days. So I think that that is something that you could do to really help ease some of the tension in the kitchen, cooking, and what are we going to do. And if you know you've got a busy week coming up, don't just walk into it like a lamb going to the slaughter. Really, just try and think through your meal some. So I'm going to take these potatoes here, and this is kind of like almost like a little 1-pan meal here. And I've already rinsed them, so it's real easy. I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil right here. And then I'm going to show you some of the spices I'm going to use. This right here I am going to use, which I love this. This is Turkish spices. Now I'm only using just a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to hit it with a little bit of lemon juice, just enough so the stuff will stick to it. We don't need to add a lot of oil to things, but just enough to kind of coat the stuff. Now I'm going to put it in here, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of a zhuzh right now. Okay? And throw those on the plate. Voila, just like that. Now, I'm going to take my veggies and I'm going to do the same thing. I've got some squash here that I like, and I got a few carrots. Now, these are those multicolored carrots. They're yellow, they're purple, they're orange, like traditional carrots. They don't taste any different whether they're purple, yellow, or orange, but I'm throwing some of those in there. I like some red onion. Now, I'm not a big onions person, but onions and red onions turn really sweet when you roast them and you bake them. So I'm going to take some of those. And then finally, I've got some broccoli here. Now, I just bought this because it was organic and it was on sale, but sometimes you can just find this stuff in the bag and you don't need to take all this time to rinse it out. So I'm just going to throw a few heads of that in. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add just a little bit of oil, just enough to kind of coat it, all right, not too much. But with the veggies, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to add a little bit of sweet basil, dried basil, and I'm going to add some black pepper. Okay, some fresh ground black pepper. That tastes good right there. And then I'm going to add a little tarragon, okay? Tarragon, I love the taste of tarragon. Okay, and then, let's see, we're going to throw a little bit of salt. The Turkish seasoning I didn't mention to you. The Turkish seasoning, by the way, that has plenty of salt in it. These other seasonings don't, so you got to add just a pinch, just enough to give it some, just to bring out the flavors. So I'm just going to give it a little toss. Look, I'm not even putting my fingers in here. This is how easy this is. And I'm going to just kind of sprinkle that out on the pan. Very simple, very easy. Now, for the actual salmon, what I like to do is I like to take Trader Joe's 21 Season Salute. I'm going to tell you right now, this is one of my secrets. Every time I do something like this, I do fish, you can do this with chicken. Everybody goes, oh my gosh, what did you do? That salmon was so delicious. What did you do? That chicken was so delicious. What's your secret? And I say, well, can't tell you. But here it is. I'm telling you now. It's $1.49 at Trader Joe's, okay? And it's just got 21 seasons in it, but I will tell you, it doesn't have any salt. So I am going to put a little bit of salt on the salmon, okay? And I'm going to just kind of douse it a little bit with the seasoning. Enough to coat it and to coat it really well, okay? It's got onions, it's got garlic, it's got all kinds of stuff in there, some orange peel and some marjoram, and you can read the rest for the ingredients. Now, if you don't live near a Trader Joe's, or if you can't get 21 Seasoned Salute, something that does work well, and they say the same thing, is, believe it or not, is McCormick's Montreal steak. Now, I don't put it on steak. I actually put it on fish, and it does incredibly well. And so that's a good alternative to the 21 Seasoned Salute. So at first, okay, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to just actually see that. I don't know. Can you see it? Can you see it? Okay. And I'm going to throw this in the oven at 350. Okay. Now, while that's going, I'm actually going to make a soup, but we're not actually going to eat the soup tonight. I'm going to eat this tomorrow. But since I'm in the kitchen, I might as well just, handle it now. Why try and take all this extra time to cook tomorrow when I'm cooking right now, okay? And I can just reheat something. So I'm just going to throw some onions in here. And I let the onions cook. It's a potato soup. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I like to let the onions cook a little bit beforehand, because when the onions cook, then, the potatoes don't take much longer, and the onions take a little more time to break down. So we've got that going right now. And so I'm going to actually do a healthy dessert in the meantime, in the next couple minutes while those are cooking. And let me get rid of all of this. And this is what we're going to do. I've got some apples here. Boop. Just cut them in half. And, let's see. Gotta get my ingredients. Okay. And I'm going to core these. Very simple. Just take out the cores. Now this is great if you have extra apples laying around, or if it's summertime and you got peaches. So you just take that and this and core them. Pretty easy. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is fill them with some yummy stuff. All right, here I am. Okay, so I'm going to throw these in the oven with dinner, but they don't have to go in right as the salmon does, because it's dessert, so we're not going to eat it, right away. But okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of these walnuts that I chopped finely. Okay, just kind of fill up the apples. Okay, does that sound good? All right, and then I'm going to take a little cinnamon and just sprinkle them on the top. This is a really healthy kind of dessert. It doesn't have to be too much. It doesn't have to have a lot of sugar, okay? But I am, for kicks and giggles, going to add, actually there's some more kicks and giggles over there. Hold on just a second. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of maple syrup. This is pure maple syrup, none of that stuff with any of that garbage in it, okay? So see that? Yummy, okay? And then this is where the fun happens. I'm going to add a little bit of brandy. Just a little bit. Okay? All right? And then I'm going to put the butter. Just dot it with a couple pieces of butter. Oh, because we know butter makes everything taste better. And if you're doing paleo or something like that, just go ahead and use coconut oil. Okay? So I'm going to throw this in the oven. And I'm probably going to be done just about the same time the fish is. Okay, and so from there, now that these onions are going, I'm going to throw the potatoes in, okay, and I'm just going to let that cook for about the next 15 minutes. I'm going to add a little more water to the pot, just enough to cover it, and then I'll show you what we're going to do when we're done. All right, see you soon.